welcome to NoFools Wednesday Review Series here on YouTube. My name is Leah. Before I get into today's review, I have an exciting announcement for you. Many of you have expressed interest in seeing additional videos for the reading and listening sections of the TOEFL. So starting next week, we're going to offer videos on different content over time. We're going to continue to post questions for speaking and writing to our forum, and we invite you to continue to use those questions in your practice and submit your responses to the forum. But we're also going to be posting some practice exercises for the reading or listening section each week. So starting next week, we're going to provide a review video for reading. So we'll be posting some reading exercises starting today. So we do invite you to continue to look at our forum for speaking and writing, but also check out the reading and listening sections in the future as well. Now we're just going to be providing a sneak peek to these videos here on YouTube, but we'll have the full videos available at Notefull.com. So we also invite you to stop by the website to see some of those videos in the future. But let's go ahead and get into today's speaking review. Before we listen to the student submission, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone that participated. As usual, we had a lot of great submissions for speaking and writing. First, let's go ahead and take a look at the question that was asked this week. If you had a choice between going to a movie theater to watch a movie or watching that same movie at home on a large television, which would you choose? And of course, use details and examples to explain. Now we're going to listen to a student submission. This week I want to focus on the speed with which this student is speaking. So don't worry about content or some of the other language or grammar points, but just listen to the speed of this submission. So let's go ahead and hear it.
In my view, I prefer to go to a movie theater to watch a movie for two important reasons. First, because it's very fun. For example, when I went to a movie theater to watch a movie with my friend, and we always had a very great moment, and at the break we can just go out and maybe eat a very different ice cream and have a very fun moment with each other until we got very relaxed and go to watch the movie again. Second is about maybe having the opportunity to talk with the movie and about the movie. For instance, I remember when I went to the movie theater, I had the chance that to talk with the movie with my friend, that it will give me a very great idea about the movie that I think it will not happen if I were alone in the home. And that's why I think it's very better to go to a movie theater.
Okay, thank you to this student for submitting your response. This would be a fair submission. Now, as you may have heard, it was very difficult to understand what this student was saying, in part because he was speaking so quickly. So we oftentimes receive submissions from students who are speaking almost so fast that it's difficult to understand. So this is what I want to address today. Now, there are a few different reasons why you might be speaking really quickly in your response. So I'm going to address those reasons and give you some tips on how you can improve. Now, the first thing that you may have noticed is that this student seemed to be speaking very quickly in order to get out a lot of content. So remember that there's a delicate balance between what you're saying and how you're saying it on the TOEFL speaking section. So while having a high word count and detailed examples is good, you don't want to over-explain. It is possible to produce an example with enough information to clearly connect with your reason and provide a strong answer in terms of content and clarity without speaking so fast to get out a lot of extra words. So the first thing that I would recommend is to not over-explain. Continue to work on developing examples that are concise and to the point, specific, but also providing enough detail in order to provide a clear connection to your reason without over-explaining and having to speak so fast in order to get all of that information out. Okay, one exercise that I recommend to students to really help with this, if you find that you're struggling, if you find that you're speaking too quickly, record your response, then try writing out a transcript of your response. Then work back through that transcript and think about what information is important to really make the point, the connection in your response. Cross out any information that is not important, just focus on the specifics. Now, we've given you a lot of videos on YouTube and in our programs at the website. We've given you a lot of information on how to develop strong, clearly connected examples, and we'll continue to do that in the future. So I'm not going to get into the specifics of that today. But my first tip to you, don't over-explain. Cut out some of that word count. Now, the other thing that I've heard from time to time is, well, Leah, I just talk fast. Well, it's true. Some people speak more quickly than others, but chances are you're not speaking so fast that it's difficult for others to understand you. Otherwise, your friends, your colleagues, your patients, your clients would constantly be saying, "Slow down, I can't understand you." So chances are, while you might speak quickly, you don't speak that fast. So, what I want you to keep in mind when you're taking the TOEFL is first of all, just breathe. Okay, it's very important that you sound very natural and relaxed in your response. Like I said, it's a balance between content and delivery. So just imagine that you're talking to a friend. Imagine that your friend asked you what that movie was like that you saw at the cinema last weekend, and you're just providing a quick response of what the experience was. When you're delivering your responses for questions 1 and 2, just imagine that you're speaking with a friend, and that's the pace that you want to speak at. Now, if you speak a little bit more quickly naturally, that's okay. Like I said, some people do, but chances are you don't speak so fast that it's difficult or even impossible for others to understand you. So remember to just breathe, follow some of the tips I gave you in a video a few weeks ago about natural pauses, and remember when you're pausing to indicate punctuation like commas or periods, it's okay to take a deep breath. Now, the other reason that we hear for why students tend to speak quickly is because of stress or nervousness. And what I've found in working with students that a lot of times that's connected with staring at the clock. Don't stare at the clock. Now, we've told you before, you want to think of the clock as being your friend. You want to think of it as a gentle reminder of the amount of time that you have left. If you find that you're fixated on the clock, you're going to get nervous and you're going to start to speed up to try and get all of that information out really quickly. And then it's going to be really difficult to understand you. So what I would recommend is that you look at the clock twice. Now, this is my recommendation. Get about right after you give your introductory sentence and your first reason and example, look at the clock. As you're coming to the end of your second reason and example, look at the clock again. And then you can adjust that concluding sentence based on how much time is remaining on the clock. I would say don't look at the clock more than once or twice during your response. But if you find that you're really fixated on it, that's probably contributing to the reason why you're speeding up. Now, I talked to you before about how you can produce strong content while still speaking at a nice, comfortable pace. So what I have done is record a response to this particular question that we asked today. And I want you to listen to my response. I want you to listen to my pace and also the content so that you can see how it is possible to achieve that balance. So I recorded this earlier. I did it under TOEFL conditions, 45 seconds, no prep time ahead of time, just my 15 seconds. And this is the response that I came up with. So let's listen.
I prefer watching a movie at home on a large TV rather than at the cinema for 2 reasons. First, the cinema is so expensive. For example, last weekend I went to the theater to see Mad Max and I paid $14 for the ticket and $12 for a small popcorn and soda. Plus, I live in the city and the cinema is about 20 miles away in the suburbs, so I had to pay for gas to get there. Second, it's more comfortable to watch movies at home. For instance, a few weeks ago, I watched Gravity on my big screen 3D TV, and it was so nice just to put on comfortable clothes, kick back in bed with a bunch of pillows and blankets, and watch the film. I felt so much more relaxed than when I dress up to go out and sit in stiff movie theater chairs. So that's why I prefer watching movies at home to going to the cinema.
All right, so if you compare that with the submission we listened to before, you probably noticed that I spoke much more slowly, but the content was still strong. My examples were still well developed. There was enough detail there to make the connection, but the pace was good. There was still energy, excitement in my voice. I didn't sound bored. I didn't sound monotonal, and I wasn't speaking so fast that it was impossible to understand you. So that's the balance. That's the balance that I want you to try to achieve as you continue to practice the TOEFL speaking section. So remember those 4 points that I told you. Don't fixate on the clock, cut back some of the content, try and imagine like you're talking to a friend because that in and of itself will help relax you and slow you down, and remember to breathe. Review some of the previous videos that we've posted that'll help you develop strong content and also to help with natural pauses. Of course, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to post them in the comments below. Send us an email to studenthelp@noteful.com or visit the website at noteful.com. Don't forget to check out our forum this week. You can take a look at the speaking and writing sections, and also you can look at the reading section because you'll find some new exercises there. And that's the video that we are very excited to present to you next week, so we hope that you are equally as excited. Visit our forum from the link below or stop by our website from the link in this video. Good luck with your studies this week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.